Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm so happy to be speaking with Michelle MaxiNe. She has a brand new single out. It's called Milky Way, and I'm very excited to talk to her all about it. Michelle, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be here. How are you doing? How was your day?
I'm fine, thank you, Austin. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. We are recording this from the opposite sides of the world right now. So I'm just getting my day started, but you're ending yours. So
True.
I really appreciate you being here. And like I said before we started recording, the song is fantastic, and I wanna
Thank you.
I wanna get right into it. I
Great.
think immediately the song comes out with this very vintage and nostalgic sound, a la, like the 80s disco, which nowadays is kind of becoming popular
Yes,
again.
it's back again. Yes, true.
Yeah. So the first thing I really want to talk about is why did you decide to go in that distinct style?
I'll tell you, like I had family, friends, cousins who are a bit older than I am. They're
Sure.
like 10 years or something. And they were, when I was a little child, like in 90s, the beginning of 90s,
Yeah.
they were listening to that kind of music. So it was somewhere in my head. And I used to be a classical singer,
Oh,
but lately I'm writing pop music and singing pop music. So then I thought, okay, someone told me among my friends, like, you're writing different songs. Can't you write something in 80s disco pop style as it's coming back again? I thought, okay. And then I had a little argument with my boyfriend. I was like a bit sad. And then I decided to write this song. The lyrics came in my head, and then I was sitting behind the piano
sure,
making
sure.
chords and stuff. And then in probably in like 10, 15 minutes, I wrote the basics. And then
Really?
I was,
Wow.
yeah, mostly it takes me 10, 15 minutes. And then I have to like adjust and edit stuff and like change words and rhyme and those things, how it works.
No, that's amazing. Listen, 10 to
Yeah,
15 minutes for a song like this is extremely impressive. People
thank
spend
you.
weeks and months and sometimes a year putting one song together.
Yeah, putting all together eventually, it took longer, but I
Sure,
mean,
sure, sure.
basics, it was like, it's always like 10, 15 mostly. And then I'm
Right.
working on it longer. I'm working with colleagues, with other musicians, as my main instrument is my voice, singing,
Sure,
and then
absolutely.
a bit piano, like. And then I'm asking my friends, other friends, musicians. Then we make it all together, make like arrangement and everything. And then I
Right.
go to the studio and I record the singing with a
Yeah,
friend of
no,
mine who is a singer. He's doing the backing vocals, Alex.
sure. Well, that's why I like this song is because it truly feels like it could have been released 40, 50 years ago, and it would have fit in just as well as it does today. And I think that's kind of the magic of it all, is it pays homage to your past, but it also has a modern style about it as well, which is such a special thing. And
Thank
I
you.
know you're very welcome. And I know how difficult it can be to kind of put the final touches on the production and the mixing and just everything. And you work, at least in name as a solo artist. So yeah, I'd love to talk about, like the behind the scenes of how this got put together. Um,
Okay.
who all was involved in helping you kind of finish it up?
A few friends of mine, and we were arguing a lot because they were like,
Yes.
please let us put like more modern sound in it because nowadays, you have to use more modern sound with even 80s style. I said, guys, this is my song. I wrote the lyrics and music.
Exactly.
Let it be how I want to be
Yeah.
because I know probably some people won't like it because it sounds like that, but I like it. First of all,
Yeah.
I have to like it, and that's my idea. It's a homage to my parents, friends. So why not? I have like many more songs to come, at least 10 new singles or songs I have
Amazing.
to record. They're all different. So I said, next one we can decide together, but this one I prefer to make it in 80s sound style.
Good.
And luckily, my backing vocalist, he's my best friend and my ex-husband. He's a great singer. He said, I agree with you. He's 10 years older. So
Sure.
he says, I sense this and I know what you mean. It sounds great. And he's my greatest and biggest support.
I
He's
love
always,
that.
yes, he's always with me. He always, I would, I always say he's my producer, as for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes, sound producer. He
Yeah.
controls my voice and the way I sing, and he knows a lot. He knows me since I'm like 17 or 16.
Oh, wow.
Actually, we were having the classical lessons in conservatorium
Hmm.
together. I met him at the singing lessons, actually, at
Wow.
conservatorium
Okay.
in back in Baku. I was born in Baku, Azerbaijan, but
Very
as a
cool.
teenager, I moved to the Netherlands, and I'm living here for a long time now, working. I used to study, now working and
It's a
doing
beautiful
all.
country.
Yes, I love the Netherlands. It's amazing. One of the best countries in the world,
I
in
fully
my
agree.
in
No, I
my
agree.
opinion.
Listen, I've spent a lot of time there as well.
Yes, where
And
have you been?
I've
Where?
been to where you live.
In The
Um, uh,
Hague.
yes, beautiful place.
Great.
Obviously, I've been to Amsterdam and a couple other
Yes.
tiny towns that I don't even remember
I
the
I
name
can
of.
imagine.
But
Yes.
just, taking the train around and seeing the beauty of it
Yes.
all, it's an inspiring thing.
Yes.
It feels easy to create and be creative in a space like that.
Yes. Thank you.
But what you're saying about, I think it's so important, especially because your name is on the project, of having the sound how you want it, the way that you kind of put your foot down and say, listen, this is my song. This is what I want it to sound like. It's not going to be my last song. I'm going to make more music if I want it to sound like this, and this is how it's going to sound like. Is
Yes.
such an important because I think so many independent artists have all these opinions coming from all angles of people telling them what they should do. But you're the one putting the time and energy into it. If you're
Yes.
not
That
happy with the end result, then why are you doing this in the first place?
also I have always the idea in my head, and I even hear the song how it should be done eventually after
Yes.
mix and master. So that's why I know what I want, and sometimes it's quite difficult to work on distance because like my mix and master guy, he's not living, he's not from the Netherlands, so we have to work on distance, and then have this argument sometimes. He's
Sure.
like, no, I like this sound. I say, no, it's okay, I do agree with you, but still I know my voice better, so please do this and that. He says, okay, okay. Eventually when we're done, he says, actually you were right, because it sounds the best and I like it now. I could do a bit different, but okay. I said, next, I always say, don't worry, next time we have more
Next
songs to
time,
go.
there will always be an
There is
opportunity to make
always,
more music.
yes, hopefully
Exactly.
there will be next time.
Um, and I also want to know what this song is about. The title is Milky Way, but I think the more that you listen, the more kind of uncovers, I guess, what inspired the making of this.
As I said before, after having a little argument with my boyfriend, Korean boyfriend, so I was quite sad. And actually, I texted him. You know, go and find your Milky Way. He was because he was laughing. He said,
Yeah,
"You're crazy. What are you writing?" I said to him, I believe in astrology, in those things, not like in everyday astrology and horoscopes, but in general.
sure, sure.
So, and Milky Way is something about the galaxy and something. So I told him, go and find your Milky Way. And he was like making fun of it, first of all.
Yeah,
But then when I wrote the song, we made up like in a week. We were okay. We were seeing each other again. And then I played and sing the song to him. He said, wow, you indeed made a good song of your like sadness.
yeah, of
So
course, of
I'm
course.
always using my emotions to write
Good.
songs, and all these lyrics. Somehow they're quite naive and light, to be honest, because some
Okay.
other songs are very, like, I would say, more more difficult, more.
Sure.
But then I think, okay, this one in 80s style, I'm not going to make. too crazy. I'll make it a light song, bit
Right.
naive, bit easygoing because it's a disco song. So I made it in this way. Also, the
Right.
lyrics are not too dramatic, I hope. Somehow they're
I
dramatic.
agree. But listen, I think it's really important in all of music is when you're listening to a certain song that has a style, this one being disco, for example.
Mhm.
If you have this like bright and vibrant instrumentation, then you mix it with darker, sadder, more complicated lyrics, it might take away from what people are experiencing. Because you and I know that a lot of people, when they listen to music, they're not necessarily listening to the words. They just listen to music for the way that it makes them feel.
Yes.
If you
Sound.
create a more like tender piano driven ballad, for example, then people know to listen to what you're saying. But something like this, you can be free, you can dance, you can do whatever it is. And I think the words are sort of secondary. But at the end of the
Exactly.
day, you know what it's about. And that's the most important thing. It allows people to kind of form their own conclusions.
True. I made this Christmas song like last Christmas, and that's more classy and more dramatic,
Sure.
and lyrics are also more different. But this one is light, summerish, and disco. I thought, okay, we'll
Exactly.
make it. Yeah, why not? Why
Right.
not?
Listen, we're right at the beginning of summer. It's recording this right at the beginning of June.
Yes.
This is, a very summery sounding song that people can listen whether they're walking around on a beautiful day or driving or whatever it is. It holds many applications to what it is, and it's just a fun song.
Yes. I hope so. I hope people will like it.
I
They
think
will
that I know
enjoy it.
they will. I know they will.
Mhm.
Um, I want to talk a little bit about future music, and you don't have to say too much if you don't want to, but
Okay.
you said that you're always working on these different things for creative outlets. Do you plan on experimenting in your sound, trying out new styles, new vocals, whatever it might be?
To be honest, I've been thinking about that, and my future plan is to do some mix between classical music and pop music because my
Awesome.
friends and family they've heard my classical voice and they say like singing pop music you're using like only 30% of your abilities. So you
Exactly.
should record
Right.
something classical. I said, okay, I'm gonna make a mix of something. Maybe I will. I'm planning to use some songs, some tunes of Handel, like
Oh, nice.
probably like Lascia Capianga. Then I'm gonna sing in both ways, classical part and then some pop music, which I will write myself and like match it to each other. I hope it will
Very
work.
cool.
Those are plans for something new and new sound. But for now, yes, I'm also planning to record something in like hip hop style, maybe
Oh,
with some
interesting.
other yes, so with some other hip hop artists to mix it. They will sing the hip hop or rap part, and I will sing more pop or classical part in it.
Nice.
So
That
I love,
feels very like early 2000s to me, where, you kind of have a little bit of everything thrown into one song. But
yeah,
I think it speaks to you as more of a creative artist, is it's like for an independent artist continuing to get their name out there, it's so important to try new things and see what sticks. If
yes,
people take to a specific sound, you can build on that. But at the same time, like I said before, it's you putting in the work and the time and the energy. Make what you want to make and have fun
yeah.
while you're doing it. Don't always treat it like a full-time job. Do it because it's fun to make music.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing like that. I'm trying to mix all things and at least to spend most of my free time making music and rehearsing. Of course,
Of course.
rehearsing it takes a lot of time too, because to make it sound easy and nice, you have to work on it a lot.
Absolutely. Um, we're recording this, like I said, midway through the year, but what does the rest of this year look like for you in terms of maybe performances or continuing to
Mm,
record or anything?
I hope that if Milky Way is gonna be a success, and I will be happy to go on festivals and sing and have like little how you say it promo tour or something
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
Milky Way. And then, of course, I have more songs to come to record later, like in autumn or something, autumn and winter.
Sure,
I've
sure,
been
sure.
record. Sometimes I'm going to London to record. I have a nice studio in London. And now, recently, I found a great studio here near to The Hague. It's Ippenburg, the name of the city,
Cool.
with a very nice studio, very great people. They're working with actors and voice actors. They're
Sure.
recording these movies and audio books. But I was lucky enough to meet this guy. His name is Robin. He works there, and he used to study at a conservatorium. He's a musician himself. He plays keyboard, and said, "Oh, you're lucky. I'm here. I will help you to record your voice, and probably in future we will work more with him because it's easy. It's like
Awesome.
15 minutes from my house by car."
Sure.
And a very nice studio. So those are plans to go on to meet more colleagues and musicians to
Yeah.
work and make something nice. My biggest dream is to have my own band because
Oh,
having your
yeah.
own band is so nice and easy. Then you can go and like have more concerts and uh, like work more together. Because now every time I have to hire people, it's a bit of a hassle. It's a bit difficult. But
Absolutely. And again, like you have a life. You know what I'm
yes,
saying? I know music can sometimes be a hobby for people, but getting a band together of incredibly talented musicians to match your talent is not an easy task.
no.
So I completely understand.
And also, of course, expensive.
Oh, yes.
I do get royalties from my music right now. I'm earning something, but that's not
Nice.
enough to cover all the
No,
costs and expenses.
absolutely. I have a couple more questions
Mhm.
for you. I want to know because you have such a wide variety of style and influences just based on your music and what's planned in the future. Who are some artists that you take after that you kind of look up to?
For like Whitney Houston, Barbara Streisand, Celine Dion, and of course, 80s disco pop music, some of it. Um, Yeah, there are a lot of artists. I like a lot of different kind of music, like Sade, like
Ooh.
Janine. There are a lot of yes, and I'm crazy. I'm in love with Nina Simone.
Oh, she's
She's
incredible.
yes, yes. I like some jazz too. So there are a lot of names I can call, but Ella Fitzgerald, of course.
Of
There
course.
are a lot of artists. I adore them.
Nice. And
So,
what actually got you into more on the classical side of singing?
yeah, I used to listen to classical music as a child, and around 16, I started studying classical music. When I was like around 5, 6, 7, I was doing classical piano for 2 years. Then we moved, and I couldn't continue my lessons. And around 16, I started doing classical singing, and like Maria Callas, of course,
Sure, sure.
and Montserrat Caballé, she is my favorite, and Placido Domingo, Pavarotti, all these Italian singers
Of
I
course.
grew up with. Of course, that's why I love classical music. And yeah, lately I felt like I didn't have my uh, classical lessons for a long time, and it's like a top sport. I couldn't continue thinking classical.
My last thing for you here is it's basically
Mhm.
for the person that is going to discover your music and for the person
Mhm.
that's going to hear this song for the first time, what is something important about it that you think they should know?
Oh, that life is fun. Even when you're sad, just try to make best of it and listen to nice music, dance, make fun. That's my message to cheer up people and to make them have fun and be happy. Because tomorrow, sunshine will be back again, I say always.
That's a
Even
great
though today,
answer.
yes, even though today it can be cloudy and gray, tomorrow there's a sunshine. Listen to nice music and be happy and dance.
Nice. I think
That's it.
this song is kind of the feeling that everything you said gives off. So I'm really
Yeah,
excited for people to listen. And Michelle, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
my
Before,
pleasure.
thank you, truly. Before we wrap up, though, I want to plug your music and everything else. So, for anyone else that didn't know who I'm speaking with Michelle MaxiNe. The song is out now. It's called Milky Way. We will have the links so that you can listen, share, follow along, stay tuned for more. And truly, like, I really want to thank you. This was such a lovely conversation to get to know you and about your music.
Likewise.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Austin. Thank you.
You're very
Likewise.
welcome. I hope you have an amazing rest of your night. I know it's late, but
Likewise.
I hope to speak soon. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right,
See
take
you
care.
soon.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye. Bye bye.